Dear students, welcome to the Geography series. I have great pleasure in inviting your valued attention to this episode dealing with energy resources. In my previous episode, detailed discussion was carried out on the important life-saving resource, that is water, its availability on the earth's surface, its uses and the method of conservation. In this episode, let us understand the resources that include conventional and non-conventional energy resources, its distribution and utilization as well. The episode consists of the following modules. 1. Energy resources defined. 2. Classification of energy. 3. Economic significance of energy. 4th, environmental significance of energy. 5th, conservation of energy. The environment is everything which surrounds an organism and influences its life in many ways. It includes physical and biological components. The physical components of the environment are soil, water, air, light and temperature. These are termed as abiotic components. The plants and animals are collectively referred to as biotic components. All these components of the environment work together, interact and modify the effect of one another. The basic needs of life are fulfilled by materials present in nature. They are air, water, soil, minerals, coal, petroleum, animals and plants. These are referred to as natural resources. Life is unthinkable without energy. Both energy production and energy utilization is the indicators of country's progress, as it is primary input for any industrial operation. Energy is an important input in all sectors of any country's economy. The standard of living of a given country can be directly related to per capita energy consumption. Let us discuss about the definitions or energy resources defined. Energy may be defined as the capacity to do work. Energy to individuals and to a country in particular plays prominent role. The standard of living of a given country can be directly related to per capita energy consumption. Energy needs of developing countries are going to increase significantly in foreseeable future. In today's world, for any development, energy is prerequisite. Life is unthinkable without energy. Both energy production and energy utilization is the indicators of a country's progress, as it is primary input for any industrial operations. Forms of energy. All forms of energy in the earth are classified as follows. 1. Potential energy. The energy of a body due to its higher position above the surface of the earth. The second is kinetic energy, the energy of a body due to its motion. Third, thermal energy, the energy present in a hot body. Fourth, mechanical energy, the kinetic and potential energy taken together. Fifth, chemical energy, the energy produced by a chemical reaction. Sixth, electrical energy, the energy of an electric content. Seventh, nuclear energy, the energy produced by the fission or fusion of the nuclei of atoms. Eighth, solar energy, the energy radiated by the sun. Classification of energy resources. Energy sources could also be classified exhaustible, depletable, and non-depletable or renewable sources. The distinguishing feature of an exhaustible resource is that it gets exhausted when used as an input of a production process, and at the same time its undisturbed role of growth is nil. That is, the temporal services provided by a given stock of an exhaustible resources are finite. Based on conventionality in deriving energy, energy sources could be classified as conventional, for example, coal, oil, hydro and nuclear energy. B. Non-conventional or solar, wind, tidal, geothermal or biomass or biogas, etc. They are also classified as primary or secondary types of energy, that is coal, firewood, etc. being primary source and electricity a secondary source. Most of the energy sources are substitutable to each other due to the fact that some form of energy can be converted to other, such as coal to electricity, use of photoelectricity to drive a chemical reaction, wind energy to pump and store water that could be used to produce electricity when required, or solid biomass to produce liquid or gaseous fuels of higher caloric value. All forms ultimately converted into heat. Now, renewable energy. Those sources of energy which are being produced continuously in nature and are inexhaustible are called renewable source of energy. 1. Forest. Forests are one of the important renewable natural resources. Owing to its richness in a variety of resources, these forests have been exploited to feed the needs of the growing population. It provides raw materials for a variety of industries. Wood is a renewable source of energy because if wood is cut from forest for different purpose, more wood will grow in the forest. Types of forest. There are mainly 3 types of forests are identified. They are tropical hardwood forest, mid-latitude or temperate deciduous forest, high mid-latitude softwood forest. Tropical hardwood forests are found in South America, Africa, Southeast Asia. Evergreen, broad-leaved trees of luxuriant growth, many valuable species like mahogany, teak, sal, sandalwood, bamboo are prominent here. There are some important products of the tropical hardwood forest: spices, nuts, ivory, betel nut, palm products, wild rubber, wax, herbal medicines, honey are the important products. In temperate forests, they do not supply a great variety of materials like tropical forest. Tar, pitch and turpentine are extracted and collected by tapering the trees like rubber. Lumbering or the commercial extraction of timber is carried on in many regions. High mid-latitude softwoods are used for paper industry. Next renewable energy is solar energy. It is a very safe energy source with low environmental impact. The energy produced and radiated by the sun, more specifically, the term refers to the sun's energy that reaches the earth. Less than 0.2% of the available resources are sufficient to entirely replace fossil fuels and nuclear power. As an energy source, electricity was the fastest growing energy source. Tropical countries of the world are the ideal location for the production of solar energy. At present, Germany is the world's largest consumer of photovoltaic electricity, followed by Japan. Solar energy received in the form of radiation can be converted directly or indirectly into other forms of energy such as heat and electricity, which can be utilized by man. It provides high temperature. Solar energy is renewable and free from pollution. It is used for producing electricity needed in space satellite, cooking, heating water, melt and forge metals in solar furnace, space cooling and heating, water pumping, etc. The third renewable energy source is wind energy. Moving air is called wind. It possesses kinetic energy. It can be harnessed by windmill for the production of electricity and used for various purposes such as street lighting, pumping, etc. United States, Spain and China and India are harnessing the wind energy. Next renewable energy is tidal energy. The energy associated with the rise and fall of tidal water is called tidal energy. Electricity can be generated and used for various purposes. Tidal energy is available in only a few selected areas. Due to the tidal forces created by the moon and the sun and the earth's relative rotation with respect to moon and sun, there are fluctuating tides. Next renewable energy source is hydro energy. The energy of falling water used to turn turbines or mill wheels called hydropower. Large hydro capacity totaling 1.9 GW was added by China, Brazil and India during the year, but there was a much faster growth, 8% in small hydroelectric power generation with 5 GW added mostly in China, where some 58% of the world's small hydro plants are now located. In the Western world, Canada is the largest producer of hydroelectricity in the world. Geothermal energy. The heat from the underground streams or the heat stored in the hot rocks beneath the earth's surface are utilized for producing energy. Heat pumps are small and widely distributed to extract the energy. So, estimates of their total capacity are uncertain and it ranges up to 100 GW. Heat pump capacity factors are low since demand is seasonal. Electricity generation through geothermal energy is found in New Zealand, Mexico, Japan and Russia. In Iceland, 99% heating is done by geothermal energy. Next is food. Food is a nutritive substance taken by an organism for its growth and work. Although an estimated 80,000 species of plants are edible, only about 30 types of crops feed the population of the world. The sources are vegetables, crops and fish, meat and other animal products which supplies energy to them. Next renewable energy is biomass and biofuels. Until the end of the 19th century, biomass was the predominant fuel. Today, it has only a small share of the overall energy supply. Electricity is produced from biomass source. Biomass electricity generation increased by over 100% in Germany, Hungary, the Netherlands, Poland and Spain. The use of biomass fire for cooking is predominant in developing countries of the world is excluded. Non-renewable sources. Those sources of energy that have accumulated in nature over a year, very long time and cannot quickly be replaced when exhausted are called non-renewable source of energy. Example, coal, natural gas, oil, uranium and nuclear power. Fossil fuels. The 20th century saw a rapid 20-fold increase in the use of fossil fuels, with fossil fuels supplying 86% of the world's energy. Coal fueled the industrial revolution in the 18th and 19th century. With the advent of the automobiles, airplanes and the spreading use of electricity, oil became the dominant fuel during the 20th century. Nuclear power. The distribution is mostly confined to developed countries of the world. Nuclear power is a source of electricity. From nuclear energy, we can produce hydrogen gas for use as a fuel in future for vehicles when petroleum and natural gas supplies are depleted. Coal. Coal is the most abundant fossil fuel. This was the fuel that launched the Industrial Revolution and has continued to grow in use. China, which already has many of the world's most polluted cities, was in 2007 building about 2 coal-fired power plants every week. Coal is the fastest growing fossil fuel and its large reserves would make it a popular candidate to meet the energy demand of the global community. As a gas coal, it is used for the manufacture of city gas. As a coking coal, it is used in coke ovens for the manufacture of metallurgical coke. As a household coal, it is used for domestic heating purpose, used in power plants. USA, Canada, CIS, China, Japan, India, Pakistan, South Africa, Australia and Brazil are the important producers. Oil. It is used for heating and lighting, lubricants for machinery and raw materials for many industries and fuel for automobiles, aeroplanes. Romania, Germany, Norway, Britain, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, China, Algeria, Mexico, Chile are the important producers. Economic significance of energy. Growing energy needs. Energy is an important input for all development. It aims at human welfare, covering household, agriculture, transport and industrial complexes. Due to population explosion, the demand for various forms of energy has got increased many folds. Out of the total commercial energy produced in the form of power or electricity, about 69% comes from thermal power, 25% from hydropower, 2% from nuclear power, 4% from diesel and gas and less than 1% from non-conventional sources such as solar, wind, tidal, mini hydel and biogas etc. It is impossible to forecast future economic trends accurately except energy sources. The vast bulk of the energy used in the world today is in the form of non-renewable oil, natural gas and coal. These resources at present being consumed at the rate of 9 billion tons of coal per annum. The energy shortage are not likely to be experienced for many decades, but the costs are bound to go up. Although all forms of energy are expressed in the same units, the financial value of energy varies enormously with its grading. This means that electrical and mechanical energy are the most costly, followed by high-grade heat energy. We must also strive after good energy economy out of quite hard-headed and commercial considerations to reduce manufacturing costs. According to Advisory Board of Energy, in rural sectors, 84% lighting is by kerosene and 94.5% cooking is on non-commercial fuels. In urban sectors, lighting is met 53% from electricity and 45.2% from kerosene, whereas cooking is 58.1% through non-commercial sources and 26.5% through kerosene. All the sources of energy currently available for harnessing can be linked to two fundamental forces in nature, gravitational and nuclear. Environmental significance of energy. Every ecosystem has several interrelated mechanisms that affect human life. These are water cycle, the carbon cycle, the oxygen cycle, the nitrogen cycle and the energy cycle. Every ecosystem is controlled by these cycles. All the functions of the ecosystem are in some way related to the growth and regeneration of its plant and animal species. These linked processes can be depicted as the various cycles. The energy cycle recycles nutrients into soil on which plant life grows. Our own lives are closely linked to the proper functioning of these cycles of life. If human activities go on altering them, humanity cannot survive on our earth. The principal function of ecosystem is to evolve in the flow of energy. The flow of energy is unidirectional. Energy flow and mineral cycling involved with interaction between biotic and abiotic components also an important aspect in an ecosystem. The flow of energy in the ecosystem is governed by two laws of thermodynamics. First law is that energy cannot be created or destroyed but may be converted from one form to another. Second law says that process involving energy transformations will not occur spontaneously unless there is a degradation of energy from a non-random to random form, or the non-random energy, that is mechanical, chemical, radiant, cannot be changed without some degradation into heat energy. Changes of energy from one form to another takes place in such a way that a part of energy assumes waste as heat energy. Energy conservation. Energy conservation means reduction in energy consumption but without making any sacrifice of quantity and quality of production. In other words, for the same energy consumption, production capacity may be enhanced. It insists for use efficiently, thus decreasing the cost of production to some extent by way of reduction in the energy. Thus, energy saved is the money earned which would be used other productive means. It is therefore imperative that electricity which is in shortage be utilized efficiently, and the areas of where the energy is wastefully used are to be identified and corrective measures are searched for adoption. Energy conservation can be defined as the substitution of energy with capital, labor, material and time. This definition also covers the substitution of scarce type of energy with abundant type of energy, or the substitution of energy with convenience. For example, people will turn lights off when they are not in their offices. Energy conservation consists of the following principles: the efficiency of energy use, allocation of available production factors determines the effectiveness of conservation, use of renewable energy source in place of non-renewable energy, use of alternative energy resources and inexhaustible and reliable source which free from pollution and available throughout the year, which will help to conserve foreign exchange. Generate local employment to create local awareness about the conservation. Ubiquitous nature of solar energy and wind energy in monsoon lands. Energy audit for energy management includes the energy measurements and energy monitoring to save the energy. Energy today has become an indispensable component of industrial production, agriculture, employment and economic growth. Formulation of administrative and information program relatively easy and inexpensive to implement will be effective in reducing current energy consumption to the extent of 3 to 7%. The responsibility for implementation of this program falls on the operators and low-level managers. Re-equipping, retrofitting and recycling through small incremental investments for gaining 5 to 10% savings. Waste energy recovery, waste material usage, waste energy utilization, process of efficiency, improvement are the best policy to conserve the energy sources. Let me summarize the foregoing topic in short as follows. Fossil fuels such as coal, oil and natural gas have been reported to meet 97% of the energy need in the houses and factories. The energy used in automobiles result in the formation of photochemical smog in the atmosphere. The energy resources are used for industries, transport and domestic sectors. We must abandon many wasteful practices in energy utilization which have grown up over the years to minimize the pollution. In this episode, we have covered economic, environmental significance of energy and the need for conservation. Thank you for watching our programs. In our next episode, we will be covering distribution, utilization and conservation of mineral resources. Until then, goodbye.